present the 2024 graduating kindergarten class of the Bailey Homeschool. Zia Bailey! Welcome back, friends, and if you're new, welcome here. Today we are celebrating Zia's graduation from kindergarten, and we are getting set up for a new school year. I am really excited. Zia's birthday falls in kind of like mid to end of summer, which is perfect for like ending a school year, having a little birthday break, and then starting a new school year again. We're really excited to get back going after having some time out of our normal routines and rhythms. But before we move on to the new school year, I wanted to celebrate everything that she learned last year and all of her hard work, and also share with you guys some of the things that we did and that she learned over the last year. Now, last year, Zia was 5 years old for the school year, so I would say she's kindergarten, so we're celebrating her graduation from kindergarten. Although when you homeschool or do home learning, you don't really have grade levels. But for the sake of just kind of giving you guys an idea of where she would be at in a traditional type of system, she would be graduating kindergarten and moving into first grade. And now that she has just turned 6, it is actually, this year coming up is going to be our first official year homeschooling where we have registered with the state and all of that. Without further ado, let's go into all of the things, not all of the things, but some of the things. I'm sure I've forgotten a lot of them, but some of the main things that Zia has gotten to do over the last year as a 5-year-old at a kindergarten level homeschool. So the main things that we made sure to do consistently was math and English. So for math, this year, Zia has learned so many more numbers. She now knows her numbers up to 100 and beyond. She has started basic addition and subtraction. We have introduced place value, so units, tens, hundreds, and also, I don't remember if I said this at the beginning, but the main thing here is that I'm just sharing some of the things that we did to kind of give you ideas and just give you some inspiration as well. This is not for comparison. Like, I don't know if this is exactly where she would be or what they would normally be doing in like a kindergarten traditional school. This is just what we've done, and what you have done or other homeschoolers have done may look completely different, and that is totally okay. So don't like compare yourself or your child to what we've done. Yours is going to look completely different, especially like with a lot of the traveling stuff that we did. The important thing with home learning is do not compare yourself to other people or even to traditional schools, but we're just sharing this for fun and for inspiration. So yeah, that's most of the math that we focused on. We really focused on those bigger numbers, tens, like 10, 20, 30, counting those numbers, also understanding the difference in the place value of tens versus units. And also she did a brief introduction to fractions. That was mostly at her Montessori that she did go to for just a week or two in New Zealand, which is something else that I'll touch on in a minute. For English, we did a lot this year in English. Most of you guys know kindergarten, first grade is really a very important time for kids learning to read. So that was the main focus for us this year, was working on phonics. She already had been introduced to the letters, but it was to really work on those phonics, get it to where she's consistent with knowing the letter sounds. Also introducing some of the new letter sounds like long vowels versus short vowels, hard and soft sounds, and then blending sounds together and things like that. So that's some of what we covered, and I would say she's learned to read this year. She is obviously not reading huge like chapter books yet, but she can consistently read Bob books on her own. We have several of the collections of Bob books, so she reads those consistently on her own, and she can pick out certain words and read words just when we're out and about, on road signs, in her larger books, chapter books, things like that. She'll pick out what she can read, and then I'll help her with the other things. Geography and social studies, this was really fun and interesting, obviously for us this year, because Zia basically got to take a field trip to New Zealand. My husband's family's from New Zealand, so we go there every so often, and this past year we took a trip to New Zealand, so Zia got to learn loads about the different landforms that are in New Zealand, because obviously that's very unique compared to here in the US. She learned about all the different plants and animals, being that it's an island and there's lots of coastline, and being near the ocean, there was a lot of new things to explore and learn about there versus being here in the mountains where we are now. So that was really fun. She also got an introduction to Te Reo Māori, which is the native language of native New Zealanders. So before we left, we started learning some of that. So she got some of the introduction to that. That was really interesting and fun. And I look forward to doing that more in the future, even just casually, so that she can at least be conversational in that whenever we do go to New Zealand. And while we were there, she did do a trial at a Montessori school. We tried it out, and I thought at first it was gonna be successful because her first day she actually did fine. But then when she started going back, she started missing us more and more. She did not like being separated from us, so.
No, because I love my mama so much.
I love you too so much. So we didn't actually push that. We didn't force her to stay into it, but it was still a good learning experience for her. She got to see what it was like. She got to explore some of the materials that they have that we don't necessarily have at home. So it was still a really good learning experience for her, and I'm glad she got to do that. Then we did a lot of nature and science type study, not so much like deep science, but lots of nature related things. We love to spend a lot of time outdoors, so Zia did a lot of learning about plants. Also, we read a ton, so everything that we read, obviously she's learning through, and so we've read lots of nature type books, living stories, and lots of like personal development type of books for her age, obviously. But aside from that, she's done loads of planting with me. We planted lots of vegetables and herbs and wildflowers this year, and we're going to continue to do some more heading into the fall. She's also learned a lot of local plant and animal identifications. Also, like, she got to do that in New Zealand as well as here now that we're back in the United States. She's also done loads of cooking. She loves to cook with me. So she's done a lot of that, measuring things.
You need to be careful with that.
Learning to follow recipes, being careful with the different materials. So we've done a lot of cooking together as well. And also some little building projects. Sometimes we go to Home Depot and she gets to do building projects there. What else did we do? She helped me build one of the little shelves for our room in the back. She just helped me hold things, got to see how I would measure. And then also a lot of other life skills, which to me, I think that is the most important. We've really focused on character building and life skills. So not just the traditional like academic subjects. For life skills, she's done a lot of pet care. So she has taken on the role of feeding our dog Ducky. She feeds Ducky most mornings. She puts her collar on every morning, opens the door for her to go outside. So she's really gotten good at.
And tell them the one thing that she's really got good at, and that like I kind of trained her to do. Where as soon as I said sit, she sat, and when I said neck up, she put her neck up.
Yes, Ducky has gotten to really respect Zia and her commands, and so every morning she goes to put her collar on and she makes her sit by the door, and then Ducky will just kind of like knows to look up and let Zia wants to put her collar on just so, with the name tag facing the right direction and everything. So she waits for her to clip her name tag or clip her collar on.
And when she hears that snap, she knows she can get up, and then she looks at the door, and then I have to unlock it and let her out.
Also, dental health. We've really focused on dental health and teaching her to brush her teeth. She has a little model where, we could really show her all the different sides of the teeth, and she can practice brushing, flossing, all of that. She does it on her own, and obviously we still take a turn helping her as well to make sure that it's really done well, but she's been visiting the dentist consistently, so we have really focused on her, teaching her about dental health as well. She's also been introduced to clock time, which is kind of like math, kind of life skills. So we've just done an introduction. We haven't done a deep dive into time yet, but she knows like the general hours. When she looks at a clock, she knows like 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock. She knows those things, even the half hours she's familiar with. So we have started to introduce clock time as well. And then last but not least, we have health and fitness. Zia has done gymnastics. So she has done that consistently throughout the year. She's also started running at the track with me. We've also started doing tennis together. She does loads of climbing and playground stuff. So she goes to the playground, does lots of climbing there, and uses the equipment to practice her climbing and her gymnastics stuff at the playground. Plus, sometimes her dad will take her to a local place here that has kind of like a ninja warrior course, and she gets to do rock climbing there, trampolining, and lots of different things like that. We've also learned a ton about health. Obviously, we are a very healthy, focused, oriented family. My husband and I both being health coaches and personal trainers, so we are teaching her that all the time. I mean, we live a very healthy lifestyle, and we're always explaining that to her, explaining different things about it, reasonings for it, etc. So she's learned a lot about healthy foods, digestion, supplements, and just healthy habits in general. So that's everything for today. That is our kind of kindergarten review, homeschooling a 5-year-old. That is what she did last year, and I'm really excited to move forward. Click the red subscribe button to stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!